There's something haunting about walking down the Kingsroad again. This time, not as a watcher from afar, but as a blade-bearer, sworn to a house barely remembered. The wind carries whispers from broken castles and snow-covered walls, promises, betrayals, and blood oaths long buried beneath ash and ice. Game of Thrones. Kingsroad doesn't just invite you back to Westeros, it dares you to survive it. And right from the first step, something feels off. Not wrong, but uncertain, like the calm before a coup. You're not Jon Snow, you're not a Targaryen reborn, you're just a name on a scroll thrown into a world where power devours patience, and loyalty is a currency you can't afford. The visuals scream high fantasy. The world breathes danger. But beneath the polish lies a question that never quite goes away. Is this a worthy heir to the throne of Westeros? Or just another puppet? Cloaked in nostalgia? Stay with me. We're about to find out. So here's the setup. Kingsroad didn't arrive with the thunderous fanfare you might expect from a franchise like Game of Thrones. No midnight banners, no Raven scrolls. Just a quiet early access launch on March 26th, like a rogue knight slipping into the feast hall, armor dusty but eyes determined. The full release, set for May 21st. 63 days of testing the waters in a kingdom where gamers have long memories and even longer grudges. Developed by Netmarble, Kingsroad isn't shy about what it wants to be. It's a mobile-first, live service action, RPG built in Unreal Engine 5, promising large-scale exploration across a reimagined Westeros. And on paper, it sounds like the dream. 50 chapters of main story content, iconic cities like King's Landing, Winterfell, and Highgarden rendered in impressive fidelity. Mounts, raids, world bosses, the works. But here's where things get slippery. The game currently holds a mixed rating on Steam. Thousands of players voicing concerns about aggressive monetization, gated progression, and what many describe as a beautiful RPG trapped in a free-to-play cage. Still, for those willing to look past the cracks, there's something stirring beneath the surface. Something ambitious, maybe even rebellious. Westeros has never felt this wide open or this alive. The moment you open the world map in Kingsroad, it hits you. This isn't just a series of glorified loading zones. It's the full spine of the continent, divided by the legendary Kingsroad itself, stretching from Castle Black's frozen shadow all the way to the sun-kissed edges of Highgarden. And yes, most of early access plants you firmly in the north. But even there, the scale is staggering. From snow-drifted trails beyond the Fay, wall to the cracked stones of forgotten keeps, the environment begs to be touched, looted, and feared. Horseback traversal becomes essential early on. Not for convenience, but because the land refuses to shrink for you. This isn't Skyrim fast travel, it's a grindstone world, built for hoofbeats and grit. There's alchemy in the air too. Crafting. Herbs cling to riversides, blacksmiths hide down alleys. Treasure chests glint behind toppled statues. World bosses stalk valleys like ancient ghosts daring you to try. Unreal Engine 5 works overtime here. With world partitioning tech, massive zones load only what's needed, letting towering structures like the Wall stay razor-sharp even from far off. The result? A landscape that doesn't just exist, it breathes, waits, and sometimes bites back. Combat in Kingsroad doesn't hold your hand. It grips you by the collar, throws you into the mud, and waits to see if you can crawl out swinging. From the very first encounter, you feel it. This isn't some tap-and-wait mobile throwaway. It's active, tactile, and punishing in the right ways. You dodge, you counter, you cancel mid-animation to break an enemy's guard. And if your timing's off, you'll know. Enemies don't just stand around waiting to die. They parry, reposition, and punish mistakes like seasoned killers. You get 3 classes to choose from. 3 doors into war. The Sellsword is your balanced warrior, jack of all trades, master of combos. The Knight is your immovable object, trading speed for devastating blows and crowd control. But it's the Assassin that feels electric. Darting, through enemy lines, backstabbing through shadows like a rogue unchained. There's a rhythm to each, a playstyle that pushes you to commit. Skills run on cooldowns, rage builds through aggression, and each class has a limited set of slots, forcing you to specialize. No brainless skill spam here. This is more like managing a deck of weapons, each move earned, not given. If you're craving real-time combat that respects your inputs and rewards mastery, Kingsroad might surprise you. It's not perfect, but in motion, it's dangerously close to something great. Westeros bleeds story. And in Kingsroad, you don't just hear the legends, you walk through their ashes. The main quest kicks off with a familiar yet compelling twist. You're the heir of House Tyr, a noble family carved from the frigid stone of the north, now tangled in whispers of rebellion and ancient prophecy. From there, the journey spirals into the kind of layered political chaos Game of Thrones is known for. Alliances forged in desperation, betrayals masked as loyalty, and looming threats from beyond the wall. Set during the latter half of Season 4's timeline, the story carves out space between the cracks of canon. You'll meet familiar faces, some helpful, some suspicious, and uncover long-buried relics that could tilt the balance of the realm. It doesn't retell the show, it expands it, but it's not just one path. Dozens, if not hundreds, of side quests fill out the world. Faction conflicts, bounty hunts, character-driven arcs, and artifact recoveries. Some are throwaway. Others, surprisingly layered, with branching outcomes and quiet moments of moral weight. Then there's Altar of Memories, a cooperative raid mode where teams of 4 face monstrous bosses in trap-laden dungeons. It's where the world feels most alive, where shared survival becomes a story of its own. This isn't just fan service, it's a living chronicle waiting for you to write your bloody chapter. But even the finest sword can carry a crack in its blade, and Kingsroad doesn't hide its fractures for long. Here's the truth. While the game looks like a grand, action-packed RPG built for the throne, underneath, it pulses like a mobile. Live service title, stitched together with time gates and currency traps. The most glaring issue? The recharge point RP system. Imagine running full tilt through a gripping chapter. Momentum building, stakes rising, and then you hit a wall. Not an enemy wall, not even narrative pacing, just out of RP, playtime over. Unless you wait hours or pony up for more. And while the main story isn't locked behind a traditional paywall, it's functionally gated. That ticking RP clock limits how much you can do each day. Grinding slows, exploration fades. You're no longer a warrior in Westeros. You're a player on pause, then there's the monetization bloat. Fast travel costs, gear sharing locked behind currency, cosmetic menus that feel more like storefronts than immersion tools. Add in timed missions that punish time zone differences or busy schedules, and it begins to feel like the game isn't respecting your time. It's renting it. It's frustrating because there's a good game buried here, sometimes even a great one, but it keeps asking, how much are you willing to pay for it, and how often? So, where does Kingsroad really stand? Is it a triumphant return to Westeros, or just another ghost wandering the ruins of greater games? The answer, like most things in Game of Thrones, isn't simple. There are moments, fleeting but powerful, where the game feels like something special. You'll crest a hill at dusk and see the wall looming in the distance, cold and eternal. You'll sidestep a White Walker's swing and land the perfect counter, the weight of combat syncing with your heartbeat. You'll uncover a side quest that reminds you of the show's richest character arcs, full of moral ambiguity and unexpected choices. But then the game reminds you what it is. A free-to-play machine, constantly checking its watch. A system that trusts you to care, but tests how much before your wallet starts talking. And yet, I don't hate it. I want to see where it goes. I want to believe this could evolve into something worth the investment. Not just of money, but of time and hope. What about you? If you've braved the North, faced the RP grind, or found beauty between the systems, share your tale. Is this a realm worth fighting for, or a kingdom already lost to the storm? Your watch begins.